Hi guys, Dr. Brian Opp here from Opp Family Chiropractic right here in St. Francis. And today we're going to talk to you about scoliosis. It's a big problem that we see in our office a lot of times. So we get a lot of questions on it. We do a lot of different exercises for it. Obviously, we're going to be adjusting the spine in specific ways to help with those curves, right? There's some other things that we'll do that are kind of thinking outside of the box. So how does that brain function? How does the skull function? What is the tailbone doing? So there's a lot of tension that can happen, especially when we think about scoliosis, we often don't know the reasoning for it, right? They call it idiopathic. So all that means is we don't know why it started. So there is always a reason, leg length inequality type stuff. So you might have a short leg, long leg. So we can, work with that. There could be some other things going on, like we talked about with tension through the spine as well. And that often is a big portion of it. Very rarely do you find issues where it's like a hemivertebrae or something like that. So it's a actual structural defect there. So Hannah's going to go through some things that how we worked with scoliosis patients here and what you can do at home a little bit to help with that. So go ahead.
Yeah. So that being said, I found out a little bit later on that I have scoliosis, and it made a lot of sense for me. So I'm hoping I can give just like a couple of different like tips or tricks, things to just start working on now. If you know that you have this, or maybe have questions around if you do, you might find that you hurt in particular areas that might be coinciding with some sort of curvature in your spine. So to help with this, the first thing is taking a look in the mirror. I know for me, like when I look in the mirror, I can see this shoulder wants to be down. This one likes to be more elevated. And so just being mindful of those postural imbalances in your own body, and so that you can know when you're kind of leaning into that a little bit. So getting fatigued, I know what I'll tend to do is that I'll tend to like shrug into that, or I'll cross my legs if I'm sitting, I'll lean into my shoulder. Just being mindful of those things can help to correct that a little bit too, and stand a little bit better posture, being mindful of those things.
Yeah, always having, some ability to think about what your body mechanics are, so that as you do train yourself, it becomes more of a natural moving body rather than you having to think about it all the time. All right, exactly. Number 2.
Yeah, so this one is really big. Doing rib expansions or just like breathing exercises, because a lot of times one side is more collapsed. It will affect your breathing, and it won't be as maximized as it could be for doing exercise or just regular day-to-day activities. A simple way to do that is laying over a foam roller or just some pillows if a foam roller is too much, laying on that side that's going this way so that you can help open up the side that's crunched down, and doing some nice deep breaths into that rib cage will help a lot. Just calming your nervous system and also improving your body's ability with breathing and your capacity.
Yeah, breathing gets often overlooked in a lot of patients that we work with. So I really like that exercise that she talks about, because often you will see even people who don't have scoliosis, they'll see one side that the rib cage is pulled down into the pelvis, and they start to lose range of motion and in movement and twisting, bending over even, because those ribs start to impede that bending motion that we often start to lose. So we can't touch our toes. Well, your ribs are running into your pelvis, so there's that. So it's definitely really good. It's a very calming exercise, so you can lay into it for a long time and really start to work on that. So let's go to number 3.
Absolutely. So number 3, movement is key. Don't be afraid to move your body. So just some gentle range of motion things, some yoga type poses like the cat and camel or child's pose, and you're reaching across, different things to keep that spine moving and not going further and deeper into that curve, and then maybe creating some degenerative or potentially worsening condition with that. When you come in here, we can take a better look at where you might be tighter or weaker, stronger, all those things, and kind of help to balance that out, because it will affect shoulders and hips and the whole body, right? Your spine is central to it all. So it's going to affect everything. So we got to take a look at everything and make sure that we're really strengthening our bodies in the right ways and stretching our body in the right way to keep it most healthy.
Yeah. Yep. Some of the areas that she talked about too, the hips, especially when we look down at that tailbone area, that's where a lot of that tension happens in the spine. So you could have a little bit of shift in that area, and that will then pull on where the spine is. So there's a covering over it called the dural sheath, and that will then create a lot of that scoliosis, because your body wants to take tension off of that area. So it has to then bend in general to relieve some of that pressure. So guys, if you're dealing with scoliosis, we definitely work with that. We can help in a lot of different ways. We obviously have somebody who has some experience here with it as well. And that's always a plus, right? When you can relate to the patients because you are going through the same thing, right? So Guys, if you need help with your scoliosis, definitely give us a call at Opp Family Chiropractic. Thank you, guys.